Hey, good morning. In my addiction, I use substances as a way to manage my emotional state. I didn't have any stress management skills. I wasn't practiced in it. And so using substances was one of the only ways I had to unwind, to cope with the difficulties of everyday life. So it makes sense that in my recovery, I need to find healthy ways that I can minimize my stress or relieve my stress when it's unavoidable. So I'm talking about cognitive distortions, and these are thought traps, patterns of thinking that keep us perpetually creating negative emotion, creating stress. They're misaligned with reality. They don't really match what's actually going on in your life. They're just bad ideas. And so if you can take these bad thought habits and replace them with better thought habits, well, then you can reduce the stress in your life. I know I keep saying this over and over again. If you're watching these videos in order, sorry for the repetition, but it bears repeating. Okay? The solutions that we use in our recovery, they're not terribly complicated, but the problem is putting them in your life every single day. And so here's one that you're going to notice a lot. If you really dive into this one, you're going to notice you do this quite often. The cognitive distortion of the day is should statements. Now, this one's a little tricky, but the idea is everybody has regrets. Everybody blames themselves for bad decisions, and that often comes in the form of the word should. I should have done this. I shouldn't have done that, right? You look at your choices, you regret them, and you use this word should. Okay. Should's a simple word, but replacing the language that you use can change the way that you feel. Should, as a statement, is always very unforgiving. Okay? Should means it was a mistake and I should have known better. Instead of just accepting that people make mistakes. I make mistakes constantly. And rather than focusing on how can I learn from this mistake so it doesn't happen again, the should statement is a way of self-blame. It's a way of criticizing yourself. It's a way of saying, I was dumb, I should have known better. How could I do this? It ties into something that goes a little bit deeper than just thought habits. Any number of thoughts that you have, if repeated enough, can turn into belief systems. Belief systems are at the very core of what makes you, you. Your beliefs inform and dictate your choices, your feelings, your actions, everything. And so this word should might not be a big deal for you, but it might be a really big deal for you. And it's something worth paying attention to. Question is, how do you handle regret? Is regret something that you brush off, try to learn from, or is regret something that you hold very deep and very dear? And you tell yourself very critical statements. You hate yourself, you judge yourself, you're harsh with yourself for your mistakes. All this is tied around the word should. And it's also tied to another idea, which is, what is it to be perfect? Should statements and perfection go hand in hand, because the should statement always demands perfection. Should have done this, shouldn't have done that. Rather than believe this cognitive distortion of should, switch it and say, yeah, I made a mistake. Everyone's allowed to make mistakes. That's the cognitive reframing part, taking a bad thought habit and replacing it with a better thought habit. It's not good that you made the mistake, but it's not helpful to hate yourself for it. So recognize it, learn from it, do your best to change it, but stop hating yourself, because it doesn't align with your goals of recovery. If all you're doing is hating on yourself for the mistakes you make, you're generating a lot of emotion. And guess what? You're unlikely to be perfect anytime soon. I'm sure as heck not. So if I hate myself for every mistake, if I judge and criticize myself for every mistake, well, then I'm going to have plenty of ammo and I'm going to feel inadequate a lot. So notice this stuff. Sorry, I'm walking through spider webs. Ooh. Notice this stuff and try to change it. Have a different narrative. Be a little more forgiving of yourself. Okay? And this one's easy because it's a single word. Should. Pay attention to it. Might help.